If I'm not mistaken, we are live. So let me go ahead and say welcome everybody to Family Maker Camp. My name is Mike Sinisi, and I'm super excited to bring a fantastic presentation to you today. We've got an international guest with a great project. But first, I'd love to give you a quick overview of Family Maker Camp, which brings you projects to make and do at home and gives some guidance to parents to help us figure out how to continue doing hands-on learning and growing our families and our children and ourselves into these makers that we're all excited to be. You want to check out makercamp.com/events for all the upcoming shows that we've got, and sign up at makercamp.com so you know about everything that is coming up as well, and get involved. Today's guest is the creator of Stupid Robot Fighting League, which is a really fun and funny activity. And through the talk of this, we're going to show you how to build your own setup for a Stupid Robot Fighting League arena. And if you do end up building one of these, be sure to post it on makercamp.com and any of the social channels that you go to at Family Maker Camp, and hashtag the Make Together hashtag to make sure that it gets shown to everybody, including us, and we get to see it. And because this is being live streamed on a variety of different channels, we are able to we're able to see your comments live and answer them live. So any questions or comments that you may have, throw them into the chat window on whatever platform you're watching this on, and we'll answer them for you right here on Family Maker Camp. And lastly, Family Maker Camp is brought to you by the support of the Make community members. So please be sure to help support by joining at make.co, and we'll keep these great shows coming. With that, I am really excited to introduce John Espin, the creator of Stupid Robot Fighting League. And John, you are based in New Zealand, where it is currently Friday at 8 in the morning.
Yes,
So,
yep, the kitchen is
traveling backwards in time to coming to the rest of us that are still living in a Thursday world right now.
Welcome to the future.
How are you?
Well, I've just managed to have breakfast and chuck the kids in their room just before we started, and then try and get Zoom working. So I'm pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's a wonderful day to be talking with Mike.
Oh, good. Well, thank you very much. It's a wonderful day to be talking with you as well. And you are you explained to me how to say the name of the town, the actual town that you live in, but tell it to everybody, because I like the way that you described it.
Okay. So in America, you would read it as Te Puke. That's how the town is spelled. But in the Maori language, it's Te Puke. So the E is more of an air sound. So te, T-E, air, te, and puke. And so that actually means the hill in the Maori language.
And that's on the North Island?
Okay. Yeah, it's in the North Island. I think the Americans call it the catcher's mitt. So if you're looking down the right-hand side of New Zealand, on the North Island, you've got the skinny part at the top, and then we sort of whoosh. It has a whooshy bit out the side there on the right-hand side. We're in that's called the Bay of Plenty.
All right, so you're pretty close to the water where you're at.
Very much so, yeah. We have access to a lot of beaches here. Nice.
That's great. Okay, so Stupid Robot Fighting League, this is your baby. This is your creation. When did you get started with this? And as you're talking, I'm going to bring up some photos here so people can see what you're talking about exactly.
Right. Okay. So it started off in approximately October of 2016, and it was a classic carport invention, and it was originally inspired by a child's instinct to poke a dead thing with a stick. So I don't know if you've ever seen like a dead something on the ground and the child just goes and has a stick and goes like that. And yeah, so that's the basic mechanic of Stupid Robot Fighting League is poking rubbish with a stick.
Is that an actual incident that happened where there was a dead animal and a child poked it and you said, "Ha-ha, I got an idea"?
No, it seems to be something that's quite ingrained in a lot of children. Some don't, some shy away from that sort of thing. But yeah, so I just thought, well, why not capitalize on that idea and poke rubbish with a stick instead? So.
And so 2016, you started building this, and for let me pull this video up here for people who haven't seen this. What you've created is a large robot fighting arena that two competitors go into, and it's kind of like a little bit of a rock'em sock'em robots, but on a grand scale.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a story attached to that, actually. We have one stupid robot. Like, I've done 2 product reviews, and one of them was for Rock and Sock and Robots. Now, the product reviews I do have to be within the context of stupid robot fighting. So I did a review on Rock and Sock and Robots, then attached it to a pole and smashed it 20 times into the face of one of my stupid robots, just to give it the stupid robot fighting test. And it did all right. You know, both the robots sort of flew off and that kind of thing. So yeah. So this fight is actually at Maker Faire Wellington, 2019. This was a really good fight. There was plenty of stuff got wrecked, and there were bits flying everywhere. We had a great crowd. That's actually an American on the right hand side. He's representing Australia. The robot there that's on the right hand side, his name's Tebow Bot 3000, and he's just. No, the fight's still going. So he has a lampshade, like an old school gooseneck lampshade for a head. What you're looking at there is, this is Baz, the basilisk on the other side, and he's fighting with the Stupid Robots. Stupid Robot. There's a band in America called the Stupid Robots, which I've hooked up with. And we designed a stupid robot for them with their fans. And he actually has a toaster oven for a head. What you're looking at is a replay there of both of his legs becoming unattached, and he can't use those anymore. So I had to stop the fight. Poor Mishmash, that's the stupid robot on the right-hand side's name with the toaster oven head.
Okay, look at right here. We can see it. There's that toaster oven.
Yep.
And then you've got over here, did you say this is a lampshade for the head?
A lampshade for the head. So that's Tebow Bot 3000. He was designed by Luigi from Australia with help from his toddler, which made it quite interesting to when we were going through the process. But she had a little bit of trouble making up her mind, but they got there in the end. He actually has like a roller skate for a body. So we use absolutely pretty much, as long as it's not too heavy, we use anything to make these things. If you have a look on the right-hand side at Mishmash's face, the white toaster oven there, he's got bits glued to his face. What we do is we make sure that each stupid robot is actually decorated with small form rubbish. Yeah, that's it. To actually give them personality. Now, if you look between his eyes, he's actually got angry eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If those angry eyebrows weren't there, it would just be hanging rubbish. But because it's got the angry eyebrows, it's a stupid robot. That's like important. That's like a non-negotiable for stupid robot fighting, the angry eyebrows. Yeah.
So every robot has to have these angry eyebrows.
Yes, yes.
And have you disqualified robots because they didn't have their angry eyebrows yet?
No. Actually, if you look at Murray, you actually had a photo of him hanging up on my fence. Yeah, he's been the what would you call it? He's been the exception, but I'm going to work on that and give him some angry eyebrows as well. Murray actually represents Spain.
Okay, so I guess let's take a half step back and we can explain to everybody that so these robots that you are having people create to go into combat and to do this stupid fighting. Yeah. It's a sort of a form of puppetry, and it's a form of marionettes. Yes. Tiana's gone and John's here. And this is Massimo. You've met him before.
Hi, Massimo.
This is my maker in training right here for Maker Training. He's got himself a rocket ship. Say hi to everybody.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Okay, now go fly that rocket ship off to the planets. I'll see you a little bit later. So it's kind of a puppetry marionette type system. People have to build these oversized robotic creations, and then as we saw in the videos, they're connected to the limbs of the operators through long those wooden poles or PVC.
Yep. Yeah. So the basic process with that system is all of the joints are held together with 1.25 millimeter mild steel wire. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is in inches, but that's our fuse. It acts like a fuse. And what you're doing is when you're fighting, you're actually managing your metal fatigue versus the other person managing their metal fatigue to try and inflict as much damage on the other person's stupid robot versus sort of defending yours. And, you can hit, but you can also rip. And you can even do haymakers. That's a lot of fun as long as you don't break your pole. But there are many things that can break during that process. And you're trying to work out the limits of your stupid robot, but also try and, just absolutely try to destroy the other person's stupid robot. But that wire, when I first started off, I used to make the joints too tight. So you had two parts of the robot that were literally levering up against each other and just breaking the wire eventually. So I worked out that if you hinge, here we go, if you hinge through a corner rather than going straight through something, then and you create a nice hinge just on the corners, everything moves a lot more freely. And so that whole process with the wires it gives you a fuse and a finite amount of fighting energy that your stupid robot has.
And it looks like from what we just saw on the screen with Murray, and let me bring this right back up.
Yep.
I can see that there are a number of different pieces for so like on the arm here, I count 1, 2, 3, 3 arm segments plus a hand.
Yep.
And then on the other side, it looks like the same. Is that a consistent design style between all the robots? So they all have the same amount of pieces that could break off?
Yes. So under normal circumstances, which is except for Al Minion, I think he has a couple more because his sections are so small. But so you're looking at Murray on your screen there, and he. So it's 2 arm sections, 1 shoulder section and 1 hand section. And then that's mimicked in the leg sections as well. So the basic idea is it's a humanoid shaped stupid robot. Whatever they're made out of is, who knows? If you look at the face of Murray there, that's actually the stupid robot's creator. His name's Ariano Justicia from Madrid in Spain. He was actually the first person to actually go through the remote building process. The other thing that people need to realize is that all of the stupid robots that exist, at least at the moment, all exist in Te Puke, New Zealand. So all of the people who want to be involved actually remotely build their stupid robot in Te Puke, New Zealand, and they have their own proxy war in New Zealand. So they don't have to do any work. All they need to do is choose the parts, and then I go through and I show them a whole lot of options and photos. They choose them and that kind of thing. And there we go. There's another beautiful one. So this is Rising Sun Honda-san, and he represents Japan. And I don't know, did you have those like old oscillating fans in America, the sort of big ones that sit on your desk? They got a big. Well, if you have a look at the face of Rising Sun Honda-san, that's actually the base of an old oscillating fan I cut off. I cut off with a handsaw, and it actually gave him quite a really cool mouth. So we put in some teeth there, which is just cable cut up, and he actually has his own collector's card.
Really?
Yep. I think 2 of them so far have their own collector's cards, which are just business cards with the stats of the stupid robot on the other side, like a baseball card. And I know it's premature for that kind of thing, but I like to run with bad ideas. So that's another one.
I don't see any bad ideas yet. This is all wonderful.
Yeah, but I've tried. If you have a look at the arm on Rising Sun Honda-san, he actually it's a chopped up car seat for a child. This was Raghav Nanda. Yeah, he's a good friend. He's based in India. I got him to design a stupid robot as well. So that's like a fruit bowl for a head. On the bottom left there is actually a part of an electric chainsaw that actually gave me quite a few good parts, that electric chainsaw. So the old oven tray for a body. So there's not a lot that we don't touch and pull apart to make stupid robots out of. And while we're going through the design and build process, like I'm going to be doing with you soon, Mike. Yes, keep an eye out on Twitter. We're going to be building a stupid robot for Make.
That's right.
Is that I also put in parts which probably aren't so good for using for a stupid robot. And if the person happens to choose those parts, we put them in and we road test those things to see if they're a particularly bad idea. But it's always a hit and miss. No stupid robot has ever constantly won. You know, it all depends on what happens during the day.
Yeah.
And it's all a giggle. And it's all a giggle. Pretty much. If you like a giggle, then you'll like stupid robot fighting.
Well, I have to imagine you've probably got, like, all good makers have a good junk pile, but you've got to have one heck of a junk pile.
For instance, just before, probably a couple of days ago, I put a call out on Facebook to my local community because they know what I do. Like I show up at the markets and put fights on and that kind of thing. But I've featured a lot in the newspaper as well. So a lot of people know what I do. So I put a call out now and then if I have some projects coming up. And I say, look, I need this. Like, for instance, my favorite thing to work with is babies' toys. They're really cool because they're quite colorful, because a lot of plastic tends to default around to black or gray, which is really boring. So I don't really want to paint a whole lot of stuff, but if I have to. So I put a call out on Facebook and people just pop up. Yeah, I've got this is broken and that's broken. This ride-on toy is broken. Sweet. Okay, I'll pick it up. The thing I have to avoid is me putting a call out, giving my address out, and then people just start dumping their rubbish over my fence, which, is something that I have to make sure that doesn't happen. You have to get some sort of sentry drones or something, defending my property sort of thing. So, yeah.
I think that we've probably all considered what types of things our local makerspace might accept that we're trying to get rid of. So I can imagine you've got a little bit of that reputation too.
Right.
Okay, so you've got this arena which is called the Rectagon.
Yes, the Rectagon, because things get wrecked in there.
That's just a brilliant name. I love it. So funny. And then 2 competitors, each with their own robots that they've either built in person or by proxy from a distance location.
Yeah. So
are you the sole builder of every robot?
Just about. There have been, for instance, there were fairly early on, there were 2 TV personalities that actually went through the entire process and fought live on prime time on New Zealand television. That was stressful, but it was awesome. And so we've had the odd person come in, but most of the time it's me that puts it together and builds it just according to the other person's instructions. I've found that it's the way that I get people with a vested interest into stupid robot fighting, because a lot of people would think, oh, that's a cool idea, watch a video and that's it. But if I have a person who has designed their own stupid robot, that's their baby. Yeah. So now you create them and you sort of lock them in a little bit into stupid robot fighting. So yeah, that's a bit of a sneaky ploy of mine, but it seems to work quite nicely. So yes.
Yeah. And then there are, at this point here on the site, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 robots, but there might be more than that.
We're heading towards 40.
Yeah, that's a lot more than 8.
Yeah. The other thing is that we have 9 stupid robots that were actually designed by people in the US, and we're moving quite quickly towards a North American championship, which is what you'll be entering, Mike. So that'll be great. Yeah, and so we'll use the new and the established stupid robots. We're actually right now, if we turn to the right and look at the floor of my lounge, there is the parts for the stupid robot that Architect are actually building. They're building 2, and we're actually going to have our very first tag team match in the Stupid Robot Fighting League North American Championship. So that's going to be quite exciting and a bit weird.
Yeah, that's super cool. Architect, who just did the the finale performance for our Virtually Maker Fair, which was this past weekend, and just knocked it out of the park with a really awesome performance, coupled with conversation and explanation about everything that they do and some of the history of it. It was just such a great way to see the Architect show from a new perspective, especially in this wild world where everything's virtual. So suddenly, we're all zooming like you and I are right now. So that's great that they're building for the event. Hey, and I just noticed we've got 2 comments that have come in from some of the viewers. John Clinton says hello from Indonesia. And
Hey, Indonesia.
Says hi from England. So we've got a very worldwide group of people watching the show today. Both of them look like they're watching on our YouTube channel right now. So thanks, guys. Anyone else that has anything to say to me or to John, just throw it into your chat and we'll get to it. Okay, so you got about 40 robots. How many tournaments have you administered at this point?
Okay, so probably the only real tournament that we've run is the one that we did for ESPN, which you may or may not have seen.
Yeah, I want to bring that up. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's so for to be in a small rural town in Te Puke and to be approached by ESPN to produce a half-hour show for them was a bit of a mind blow. It took a bit to put together. It was a very, very steep learning curve. But through the help of a friend of mine, Samuel from One Post Media, he really, because he dealt with TV before, we had some like long documentation to try and work out how to prepare a video for TV. But that was amazing. Anyway, the actual project was 8 stupid robots designed by 8 different people from 8 different countries. So it was a pseudo international competition, which I hope to run again really soon. Once we decide like who represents America, who represents the UK, who represents, the other countries and bits and pieces. Because if we have double ups, then we want to battle to get the winner into the international competition. So, that went really well. We even got, there was John and Jeff from that one sports show. And so they had the American sports podcast of voices. So they called it over rather than my sort of nasally slurry New Zealand accent. They had the the American accent. So, but it was nice and deep, and they had the good chit chat between each other, and they'd actually done it before, so they knew what we do. So yeah, that was amazing. They did such a good job. And so at the end of the competition, unfortunately, the stupid robot that won was Al Minion. So he's the world champion. Yeah, 2019 world champion. So that's that guy there.
Yeah.
Now there's a little bit of a rather interesting story attached to that. If you so you know what Stupid Robot Fighting League is. So what would you suggest as, there he is in all his glory. Yeah. He's the first ever stupid robot that was made. And as you can see, he's made out of rusty tins and cans, and he was just getting smacked in the face so much. And, but because he's so light, he could endure it. Like when he took on Mishmash from America, he was just getting smashed with a toaster. It's because Mishmash has a full-blown toaster for a fist. And he was just taking it. And then eventually Mishmash's arm fell off. And then that was the end of the fight. But he ended up taking on, I don't know if you're familiar with the rivalry between Australia and New Zealand. Have you heard about that?
I've heard little bits and pieces of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Australians. Australians are fantastic. I like hanging around them. But there's this like rugby and sports rivalry between Australia and New Zealand. And so the final for the Burger Fuel 2019 Stupid Robot Fighting League on ESPN was a final between New Zealand, which was Mishmash, and Down Under Blunder, which was Australia. Oh, wow. And so this fight started, and by the end of the fight, Down Under Blunder had no arms and no legs. So just at the very last, he lost his last limb, and I think Mishmash was still intact. So the rules are with Stupid Robot Fighting League, you're trying to knock the head off, and that's a knockout. But if you lose an arm or a leg, you're not allowed to use that pole anymore for the corresponding leg that was detached. So your options disappear over time as you're fighting. So Mishmash was the world champion. And I've come up with a fantastic celebration for how do you celebrate Mishmash and winning the 2019 Burgerfield Stupid Robot Fighting League. And so what we're doing is I've teamed up with Ewan from Tin Pig. Look at, he's nasty. Look at that toaster.
Yeah.
Look at that toaster. Oh, he's nasty.
That looks pretty brutal.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert our minion's head into an epic electric guitar. And then, so once his head is, so Ewan from Te Puke Guitars has actually got our minion's head at the moment, and he's going to be starting on that really, really soon. And then, so what we're doing is once I get it back as an electric guitar, every time we have a fight, we're actually going to invite people who can't play the guitar we'll plug it into an amp and put it on distortion and just get them to shred during a Stupid Robot fight, because because Stupid Robot Fighting League is chaotic and it's a mess in itself, then having a person trying to shred who can't shred on an electric guitar is just like the absolute perfect match.
Yeah,
so,
that's the right soundtrack for something like this.
Yeah. So I have a little field recorder as well. So the idea is that I'll get the field recorder. I'll record the person who can't shredding. And then what I want to do is record that onto an album, and people can, buy the album of really, really terrible shredding with the background of things getting smashed up, so they can listen to it before they go to bed.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice. That sounds like a perfect way to relax and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Some heavy metal with some heavy metal.
Yeah.
And just, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
hey,
it makes me laugh.
Comments from some of the viewers.
Yes.
Let me start off here. Christine Yule Spalding, chiming in from Facebook, says, I teach robotics in middle school in Washington State in the US. My students would love this. Is it possible for middle school 12 to 14-year-olds to make this and fight over 6 feet away, a safe social distance?
Now, I don't know if someone can do the conversions for me.
Let's just say just for roughly 2 meters.
Yeah, I think it's about 1.7 is the distance betwing the two.
Which is probably pretty close to what 6 feet is.
Yeah, the things you've got to look out for, like I've had some younger, like I keep it 18 and over, but with a middle school, we're about to show you something behind me which may actually suit better and may be much simpler for you.
Yeah.
Stupid Robot Fighting League in the form that we're looking at is a little bit dangerous, because there's impacts involved, but there's also the actual materials that you're working with, can be a little bit dangerous as well. The other thing is the wire that you have the joints made out of can be a little bit like fish hooks. I don't actually let anybody else lift the stupid robots up and on to the frame and stuff, because I've had the wire try and stick into my hand and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was a question I had. How do these get put into place? And so you have, and I'm going to throw this video onto the screen share here so people can watch with the view of how these are working here.
Right. Now, if you have a look, my graphics on the top are in the way, but if you pause, if you get a straight on shot there.
Yeah, let me rewind and I'll find it.
Right, if you get a straight on shot, both of the stupid robots are actually hanging by a chain. So if you look at the K for KO, just to the left of that is a skateboard wheel. So a little blue skateboard wheel. Yep. Okay.
Right up here.
Yep. So you've got 2 boards at the top. Like if anyone wants to build this, get in contact. I will walk you through it. This is like a published design that you can do this. I'll walk you through it. The only thing I ask is that you keep keep what you do family friendly. And, you know, so that's fine. Just talk to me and we can work through it. But so what I tried to do was construct the frame so simply that there's no lap joints or anything flash like that. It's just all screwed together, and there are stops on either end and that kind of thing. So I can actually put that frame up by myself. All you need to do is put one of the first rails running along the bottom there on first. So the roller system is just upside down skateboard wheels, and the trucks just have a block attached to it, and then some wire, and then the chain just loops over, and all you do is put a butterfly. Like a bolt with a butterfly on it, the butterfly nut.
Oh yeah,
and it holds it in place. The other thing is that if you notice the stupid robots are different heights, well, that doesn't matter as long as the stupid robot is not higher than the frame. You've got no problems, because using the chain system, it's really easy to adjust the height of the chain according to the height of the stupid robot. So yeah, this is all stuff you can actually see how the stupid robots are free rolling.
Yeah.
So because they're free rolling, it means that the stupid robots, if someone's getting their face bashed in, then their stupid robot will be in their own face. So it's like, I'm not doing my job well enough because my stupid robot's in my face. Right. And yeah, the other thing is that you've got to really make your shots count when you're smashing your other person's stupid robot. You can flail all you like, but if you're not making your shots count, then your stupid robot is in your face. Oh, there you can see there's the win. So that's the knockout. So the Basilisk and Mishmash lost, and you can watch a slow-mo of his body falling down there. So yeah, I was quite impressed with Tebow Bot 3000. He's quite sturdy.
And you were saying that the crowd at the Maker Fairs in Wellington, they got so into this event that you were about to wrap up the tournament, and they said, "No, you got to keep fighting. You got to get."
Yeah. Well, that was quite close. Yeah. This was the 2018 Maker Fair Wellington. We had a 360-degree crowd, which I'd never experienced before. And we had these two guys fighting. One of the stupid robots was actually our minion, and I can't remember what the other one was. It's on YouTube. But so the fight ended up in a draw. No arms, no legs got broken off or anything like that. But these guys were absolutely, I think it was Murray versus our minion. And they were just absolutely, and they just wouldn't break. And so what I was going to do was I was going to get the trophy and get my saw and just absolutely cut it in half with my saw, barbaric. But what happened was that someone said extra time, and next minute all the crowd, yeah, come on! They wanted to see the finish. They wanted closure. Yeah. So I thought, oh, you want extra time? And they said, yeah, extra time. So it was like, oh, okay. So all we did was we fought to the next break. So the next thing to break. And we've been doing that ever since now. We go to what we call sudden death. Yeah. So, that happened a couple of times on the ESPN video as well. So, yeah.
It's funny because sudden death takes on a much more appropriate meaning in something like a stupid robot fighting league, where it's more of an actual physical battle, a fight.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing you have to keep in mind with myself is I really enjoy violence, but I don't like hurting people. I really like people. I like interacting with people. I like encouraging people. I like building up people, but I really like to bash stuff. Right. And so this is a wonderful outlet for if you've never broken anything, then I think you're missing out. Yeah.
There's something really cathartic about smashing stuff.
Yeah.
And then also you're the MC for these tournaments as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I for the most part, I usually run just about everything by myself. So I'm pretty much hammered by the end of it. But hopefully I'll find some crazy folk who know how to work, and we'll team up with them as well.
Yeah, great. Well, okay. So before we run out of time, I want to make sure that we get to look through the cardboard tournament arena that you've put together. I was looking for the sample video. I can't pull up the sample video that I have, but I think
it's in chat.
Oh, is it in the chat? Okay, let me look at
if you have a look in chat, it should be the first link.
There it is. Great. Okay, I was looking in the wrong chat side. Okay,
Sure.
Perfect. So let me screen share this in, and I want you to talk me through this video as who's this at your
this is from the band The Stupid Robots, and it's a can of beans that they sent me. It ended up costing me $250 American to actually get it here. Would you believe? Actually 243 I think it was, but yeah, I just wanted to feature the beans. They're quite famous.
Nice. Is that shipping and import and tariffs for the
if you could imagine 2 of those beans. And it was shipping stuff to New Zealand is insanely expensive.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's pretty far out there. Okay, so this is it. This is your side, your scaled down arena. Talk us through this.
Okay, so what you're looking at is the first the first test fight that I did with the system. So you're looking at that's your pass list. I did the inches on the right hand side there. So it's we did one test with a wooden frame, and then we went to this size. This size is made so it keeps your fingers out of where the actual fighting's going. But basically, all it is the rectagon, the full size rectagon, scaled down and made out of cardboard. I made it out of cardboard so that so that people could build it at home using materials that should, in theory, be quite easily to get, like from the supermarket and a standard banana box and that kind of thing. The only thing I regret is if you see how I'm cutting it there, do you notice that the grain of the corrugation is going that way? It would be better if the corrugation was going long ways, but the banana box wasn't tall enough for that. The other thing is that if you can find a box that is roughly the right size, as long as the length is about 200 mil, then there's no, you don't even have to cut stuff up. You just cut out the top and the sides with windows. Leaving yourself windows big enough so that you can see what's going on the side. You don't even have to do all this stuff, which I have found in another box, which I'm going to shoot another video of how to just cut out windows and just start bashing stuff. Yeah.
So one of the things that I had commented on when I saw this video originally, I'm really impressed with your cardboard fabrication skills. And you'll see as for the rest of the viewers, as you watch this, you build a pretty tight arena with some intricate part placement, and it's you're I mean, everything's sped up a little bit, but you're quick to work with the hot glue gun. You've got your speed square there. You know, using the ruler as a parts press. That's an interesting, cool technique too. So take notes, everybody that's watching this. There's some good cardboard building skills just from watching this video alone.
You're going to make me gush, Mike. Someone from Make paying me compliments on my building skills. That's a bit special.
Oh no, you're doing great. Like this right here, like it just kind of all slots into place so nicely, and I love that. It's nice to see good craftsmanship, no matter what the material is. How did you learn to build? Like, tell me a little bit about what your background is.
Yes. Okay. My urge to build things actually, honestly, literally comes from Make magazine. I used to, when I first discovered YouTube, I think one of the first things I ever started watching was Weekend Projects with Bre Pettis, and he would just about always finish his video of something that usually from the pages of Make magazine, and he would go through the process and include his mistakes, which I really respected.
Yeah.
And then he would finish up with, now go out and make something. And so I originally started off trying to make a board game, but then this idea for Stupid Robot Fighting League came in. But Make has been absolutely, I guess, imperative in the history of the story of Stupid Robot Fighting League. It's so I really appreciate it. So yeah,
that's pretty cool to hear about. So yeah, thanks for. I didn't set this up for it to turn into a make thing, but it's really cool. And so before we jump watching this and captivated with watching this, do you call this one a rectagon as well? What do you call the cardboard one?
To be honest with you, I'm actually, I forget what I called it last time, and I'll actually switch up the words. I'll come up with a short name eventually, but we call this the stupid robot desktop fighting system. I think.
Yeah, that's a really cool acronym to it. But a couple other comments real quick as we're watching this come together. Devin Pleat on Facebook says, "John, you are a genius."
Oh, sorry. Oh dear. Thank you very much.
and then it continues. Stupid robots seem like so much fun. And then Alex Williams, who had mentioned hello from England, also compliments you on your beard. Says you have a good beard.
Hey! Now that is a way to my heart. Yeah, here's a cuddle. Hang on, here's a cuddle for you. Cuddle, thank you.
Well, hold up, because then he says Australia has the better rugby team.
Oh, yeah. To be honest with you, I actually follow Aussie rules. I love Aussie rules. I don't actually follow rugby. I'm one of those weird New Zealanders. In fact, I've been following. I've been watching a lot of AFL videos. So cuddles to Australia.
Let me rewind real quick. I want everyone to see this little thing that you did right here. So you just hot glued across the seam of this crossbar right here, and then right there. Is this a thing that people know to do? It's something that I just learned myself like a week ago.
Right.
To use the edge of your hot glue gun to smooth the bead. Is that a thing?
It was just something I thought of off the top of my head because the other thing was, if I can have a free one here. Here we go. So we haven't actually got to this stage in this video, but if you look at the, so this is what you fight with. This is actually attached to your thumbs and your fingers, and this is the fist or foot of your mini stupid robot. So a lot of times these will rip off and that kind of thing. But I've found that if you want to, the one thing I really regret about Stupid Robot Fighting League is we use a ton of hot glue. So I'm trying to think of ways of how to reuse hot glue because you can always heat it up again. So the idea is that if this rips off like that, then what you can do is you can use a tip of your hot glue gun and rub it up and down and remelt the hot glue and then stick it back on. And then you haven't wasted hot glue. So I've also got a heat gun, which means that as bits of hot glue fly off and that kind of thing, then I can put it in something, maybe a non-stick pan that I don't need anymore, and then heat that up and reuse that hot glue. So so that's one thing that I try to cut down on waste. But I haven't really gotten into that yet. But that's I haven't thrown away a lot of my hot glue.
Yeah, good tips. Very good tips.
Thank you.
And let me see if there's any other comments too as we're watching this.
Sure.
Christine Spalding, again, the teacher who was excited about this. She's so excited about the possibilities. A nice long comment here on Facebook.
Cool.
Well, Chris also writes beans, and this is going back to when you showed your can of beans.
Yeah. So that'll probably be John Sanders or one of the stupid robots. I did warn them that this video was coming up. So yeah. Great,
good. Okay, so looks like this is now what you're putting into place must be that gantry arm.
Yeah, that's probably the most elegant thing I came up with for this particular system was the gantry system. I was really chuffed with how that turned out. You'll see that in a minute, but I can hold the
look at that,
that might be. I'll just switch cameras, shall I?
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
And let me see. Here we go. Because I don't know how much of the screen the screen share is overtaking, but if you switch cameras, I can pause this if you want to show.
Sure.
I'll pop it up.
Okay.
Let's look at this.
Oh, yes.
Real fast. It looks like you've got the.
Right, I'll bring it up to you so you can see. So yeah, I would I can't tell Christine what her students would like and that kind of thing, but I would hazard to guess. Now, how are we there? So that this would possibly be a nice option. There, it doesn't take up a lot of space. Stupid Robot full size do. So the basic system that you're looking at is that. Now let's try and get a good shot there. So this is just a cardboard tube that I've built by wrapping it around. So I size it up with my thumb, and then I go around once, and then I put a strip of hot glue, and then I flatten that, come around again, put a strip of hot glue. Don't keep it on your thumb when you're doing that, but just size it up first. And so it fits on quite nicely. And so the basic control is just like, marionettes, puppetry and that kind of thing. But so you're basically just, smashing the other stupid robot in the face.
Yeah.
And then you put your fingers. So it's a little bit like a controller setup. How you use your fingers and thumbs for your controller setup, but then it's just like puppetry. Now these things are made out of Lego, which is you can just keep reusing the parts. And if you have a look at the actual joints rather than wire like the stupid robots, they use. So we'll go down to this guy here. Going this. How's that?
Nice.
Okay, so the joints are just held together with the friction of the. So we'll just there we go. The friction of the Lego holding onto the parts. Now with Stupid Robot Fighting League, you don't want everything to last forever. You want things to fall apart. That's where the excitement is, and so it's just pinched string rather than the wire loops, and it seems to last quite nicely. And the other thing is that these are quite sparsely designed. The string can actually hold, quite heavier pieces than this. So you can actually build them out into quite elaborate inventions. But because I've been so under the gun, that we've sort of kept them fairly simple. But you always want really cool decorations and bits and pieces that will fly off. So your opponent has something to smash off. The other thing is that we have. You don't have to use Lego. If you don't have Lego, it doesn't matter. I'll just move this back. And there we go. We actually have ones that are made out of rubbish as well. Because the stupid robots are always smashing rubbish off, I always have a good source of rubbish, small rubbish that gets broken and that kind of thing. So we'll just get you in shot again.
Yeah.
Look all right?
Yep, looks great.
Yeah.
And so now I'm trying to figure out these little blue beads. What are those?
Yeah, those are off one of those plastic. The plastic decorations that you find on Christmas trees.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So my children actually decorated them up. But the thing is that you could use a ton of hot glue here, but what's the fun in that when things aren't going to break? So so it's all about breaking. Another thing I wanted to point out with this Lego guy here is that this piece of scruffy cardboard here has actually been measured up to the, there we go, to this size here. So this size here is that size there. So this point just at the very top of your screen there, down to the bottom of the cardboard, is the height of the actual mini rectagon, which means that you need to, when you're doing the height of your stupid robot, you need to adjust his height just by adjusting the pinch on the string so that his legs, his shortest leg, which the legs are never the same length. So it goes from string height down to the last section of the shortest leg, because the feet sit at 90 degrees to the floor, and then the legs go from the top of the rectagon down to the floor of the rectagon, and that's what we do with the full-size stupid robots as well. So yeah, but seriously, if anybody wants to build this or the just get in touch. I'm more than willing to help folks out. I do enjoy the social aspect of Stupid Robot Fighting League. So yes. Oh, and here's Jimmy. Yay.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Jimmy. Hi. There we go.
So Jimmy DeResta action figure is something that you don't see all the time. Where'd you get that?
Yep. Okay. I'll just switch cameras so you can see my pretty face again. Hang on. And there we go. Look at me. Okay. So Jimmy DeResta, well, he was the Jimmy DeResta doll. Sorry, he's a bit broken because my son just ripped his hat off and stuff, and I've had to glue his arm back on, and his head keeps falling off. So I have to. He's been dropped a lot, but so he ran something similar to a Kickstarter campaign, but it was done by a company which do figures. So he was he was saving up to build his big shed at the farm, or
Yeah.
and so he did a call out, and so I flicked the cash to get my own Jimmy DeResta doll. So it's like, yeah, here's Jimmy. So except this arm broke off and his head, so makes me sad, but it's all right, he still works, still Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, here's an interesting full circle story. Jimmy DeResta, the Jimmy DeResta doll, was responsible for the size that I set the mini Rectagon to.
Really?
So he was so Jimmy's creative juices keep flowing around the world through to people's different projects. Well, Jimmy's spirit just sort of exists a little bit within the Rectagon as well. So there you go, Jimmy. All I want to do, Jimmy, is hear you say, John, I'm proud of you. So if you're watching, Jimmy, John, I'm proud of you. Just send it to me and my life will be complete.
Beautiful. Well, John, this is awesome. I love this project. I think that Stupid Robot Fighting League is just hilarious, and I think it's a great thing for everybody to get involved with. I think there's a lot of maker lessons inside of it, all hidden inside of this shell of just having a wicked good time. And so thank you for sharing this with us, for putting your efforts and energies into it, and congratulations on all the attention that it's been getting too from ESPN and other news outlets, and I think there's lots of cool places that I imagine this going for you as it continues. And I look forward to helping get a make robot assembled sometime very soon as well.
You really don't know how huge that is to me. You probably have. Well, no, you've got it. You should have an inkling on how huge that is for me.
I'm piecing it together.
Yeah, cool.
But before we wrap up, let me give you opportunity to throw out any of your website addresses, social media channels, etc., just so people know how to find you, find Stupid Robot Fighting League, so they can find instructions on building any of the arenas or robots or getting involved in a proxy build. So what do you got?
Okay, so stupidrobotfightingleague.com is pretty much the central hub for everything. But because no one else is doing this, we absolutely dominate the search engines for the term Stupid Robot Fighting. So if you put in Stupid Robot Fighting or Stupid Robot Fighting League in your favorite search engine, just you'll find us there. It's super easy. So but if you see this beautiful beard anywhere, just reach out and say, hey, I want to do something with Stupid Robot Fighting League. I'm more than willing to help you. I love as I said, the whole social aspect and so thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I look forward to following up on this robot build. So I plan on doing that very shortly.
Right, excellent. One more thing. As a side project, I've started recording really, really terrible music. I mean, like purposefully awful, like really hard to listen to music. Okay. And I recorded it about. So remember the beans? Like I had the can of beans here. I wrote an entire album about these beans, and the guy that sent it to me, John Sanders from the Stupid Robots. And so if you ever really want to hear some really terrible music, just search for John Sanders and beans. It's all family friendly. It's family friendly music, but it's just really terrible to listen to. It was so much fun to record. So
I don't know if you're selling telling us on it that good, John.
No, I made sure it was awful. It was, yeah, like for one of the songs, I had the flu, and so I really lent into the flu. It really provided me that, and I was coughing like halfway through it. Left it in. It's awful music, eh? It's really cool. So,
It
John,
sounds so bad that I have to check this out now.
oh yeah. Let me know how far you make it through with before stopping. I bet you can't make it all the way through. So,
I'll let you know.
awesome.
But yeah, so let me say thank you again, John, and thank you to everybody that has tuned in for today's broadcast here for Family Maker Camp. Thank you to all of the members who are supporters of Family Maker Camp, and be sure to join the Make community membership by going to make.co and help keep these broadcasts and others like them coming to you. And be sure to also go to makercamp.com to see when our next event is coming up. I think we've got some great stuff lined up for tomorrow even. And also be sure to hashtag Make Together on all of your social channels so we can be sure to see the stuff that you're making and creating and get to say hello to you there. But with that, I am Mike Sinisi, and thanks for watching. I will see you at the next one.